look down here, it says there is no one-to-one equivalent in English for say. Instead, in English, the impersonality or lack of a subject in a sentence is expressed by using a symbolic subject, such as people, as in people in Cuba have dinner late. They have dinner late in Cuba. Rather than a literal translation, a Spanish speaker would employ the impersonal say form to convey the same idea. So you use the impersonal say when you're just trying to, there's no specific subject, you're just trying to make a generality. And it would be in cases where you make these generalized statements like people, they. So for example, they eat very good fish here. What you're just basically saying is very good fish is eaten here. And so you're going to conjugate the verb. It's going to be passive, not for the they. Basically what you're, because you're not really literally saying they eat very good fish here. You're going to say, this is what you're essentially saying. Very good fish. Whoops, let me make it. Very good fish is eaten here. So there's not really a specific person who's doing the eating. It's something that's being eaten. So the fish is what we're worried with. So we're going to conjugate for fish, and because fish doesn't get a plural form in Spanish, in fact, let me make it a different color so you can see it a little better. Whoops. Since fish is singular pescado, you're going to conjugate your comer for pescado and you're going to put a se in front of it, okay? And so most of these sentences are either going to be conjugated in singular or in plural, and it's going to be about the thing that's being eaten or fabricated or etc. So here it says, in Cuba they make excellent cigars. Well, what the sentence is really saying is that excellent cigars are made in Cuba. Okay, so you are going to conjugate your verb for cigars, and because there is no real subject, I mean, it is actually people who are doing it, but you don't have specific people, you're going to conjugate your verb for cigars and put a se in front of it. So since fish is singular, pescado, cigars or cigarros is plural, you're going to put a se in front of the verb, se fabrican. When the object is not a noun, the verb is always singular. Se cena tarde. So in Cuba, they have dinner late. El ajiaco se prepara con carne. So let's do some practice over here. Decir que comer vegetales. So this would be one in which the object is not a noun. It's an idea. Eating vegetables. So it says, people say, or one says, that eating vegetables and fruits is good for the health, or eating vegetables and fruits is good for your health. So you're going to conjugate for your, you're not going to conjugate for your fruits and vegetables, because what it's eating fruits and vegetables, it's this eating, it's the idea of eating, not the actual fruits and vegetables. So since that's a verb, you're going to leave your verb decir, and it's always going to have se in front, and it's going to be se, dice, you do it in the singular form. Here again, it's a verb, no poder fumar aquí. So you're going to do no se puede fumar aquí. Smoking is not allowed here. Eating fruits and vegetables is good for your health. The results are being announced today, so you're gonna conjugate for los resultados, okay? And so you're going to do say, and this time you're going to make it plural because it's resultados. But here it's smoking that can't be done. So if it's a verb that's the subject of the sentence, if it's an idea, the idea of smoking, then you're going to do it singular. But if it is a noun, if the noun is plural, you make your verb conjugate it for ellos, ellas, ustedes, and if it's singular, you do it for el, ellos, usted. So for example here, it's Spanish. Spanish is not spoken in Brazil. So because Spanish is the subject, you're going to do se habla. No se habla español en Brasil. Juanito, no. And they already did that for you. Actually, I don't know. We'll skip this one because I don't know what they, no se hace eso. I think they were trying to say, should have been hacer, and you would be conjugating for eso, but it looks like it's already conjugated for you, so it would be Juanito. Actually, take it back, because this shouldn't be the personal say. It should be no hagas eso aquí. This one is not a say impersonal, so I'm going to take it out. I don't know if they put it there on purpose to trip you up or what, but we're going to get rid of it because it's not say impersonal. Say impersonal is when there isn't, when there's not a subject, it's passive voice. So this one, it's manejar. Driving after drinking alcohol should not be done. And so since driving is the subject, you're going to leave it in the singular form. No se debe. No se debe manejar después de tomar alcohol. Blank, tener que leer mucho en la clase de literatura. One has to, reading a lot, and one should read a lot. In literature class, it's a verb again, so we're going to do it in the singular form. Se tiene que leer mucho. En Perú, regatear mucho en los mercados. It's mucho. Okay, which also isn't a noun, that is an adverb. So sometimes it could be adverbs, you still make it singular. Se regatea. En Perú se regatea en los mercados. En mi casa, again, it's going to be an adverb, bien. So you would do it singular. Se come bien. No permitir sacar. Again, this is a verb. Whoops. This one's a verb, so it'll be singular again. It's only plural if it's a noun, like that is the subject of the sentence. So no se permite sacar más de los libros de la biblioteca. And what all these means is one says that eating, or it is, they say, I guess that's how we would translate in English better. They say that eating fruits and vegetables is very good for your health. When it's a they, but it's not attached to anyone in specific, it's not like my parents say, it's they, meaning the powers that be. And when it's a situation like that, that's when you're using se impersonal. One is not allowed to smoke here, but we're not saying anyone in specific. We're just saying in general, no one is allowed to smoke here. No se puede fumar aquí. Se anuncian los resultados hoy. They are going to announce the results today, but it's nobody in particular. It's like the powers that be. The results are going to be announced today. And because what's going to be announced are the results, that's a noun, I make it plural because it's a plural noun. If it had been a singular noun, I would leave it singular as well. No se habla español en Brasil. They don't speak Spanish in Brazil. We just mean in general. Spanish isn't spoken in Brazil. No se debe manejar después de tomar alcohol. One should not drive after drinking alcohol, and that just means in general one shouldn't drive, so it needs the same personal. Se tiene que leer mucho en la clase de literatura. That just means one has to read a lot, meaning one in general has to read a lot in literature class. And because what they have to do is read, because what they should do is drive, these are all verbs. It has to be singular. This is a noun, but it's a singular noun, so it still has to be singular. En Perú se regatea mucho en los mercados. In Peru, people bargain a lot in the markets. But again, it's people in general, so it's passive voice, and what they do a lot, so regatean mucho is the subject, and so you would conjugate singular. En mi casa se come bien los domingos. At my house, one eats well on Sundays. Not saying like at my house we all eat well. You're just making one of those blanket general statements, so it's se impersonal. And no se permite sacar más de dos libros de la biblioteca. Like one's not allowed. They don't allow people to take more than 2 books from the library. So if there's no specific subject, if you're making these generalizations, you're going to need the se impersonal.